And look at this, everyone. We managed to find the lions again. They moved off a little bit from where they were this morning. Not too far though, but luckily we did manage to spot them through the thicket. And they're all still together, which is great. And again, a big pile of lions. And there's a big male, one of the Birmingham males that's joined the Pride. And have a look, there's actually one of the cubs moving on the termite mound, and then it's just gone to lie down. That's wonderful. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can see 4 cubs at the moment, but I can't see to the other side of the termite mound. There's definitely a lioness or 2 on the other side, and I can only see 3 lionesses at the moment. They just seem to be hiding from us a little bit. We haven't really been able to count all of them this morning too. It was very difficult to see all of them. There's a few yawns coming from that lioness. She may get up and decide to either just change positions and move around. There we go. There we go. Stretch. Now she may just change her position, lie down somewhere else, or decide to move around. There we go. Just changing her position, that's all. Oh, a little sneeze from that cub. At least they're a bit more active than they were this morning. There's a bit of movement. This morning they were completely flat and not interested in moving at all, I think because of the rain. But the nice thing, and they're in this little open section, the nice thing is it's a bit cooler today, so that's why they've decided to lie out in the open. Usually, and we know in the past, the lions, if it's hot, they prefer the shade. They stay in the shade, and it's not always easy to see them. It was a little tricky getting in here with the roof, but we managed. Oh, isn't that wonderful? Discussed how these lions have, well, especially the little cubs, have been suffering from the white muscle disease, and you wanted to know if them eating that hippo that Brent found, if that would help them and be beneficial for them. Yes, most definitely. Change of diet a little bit, not just buffalo, and there's probably a lot more fat on that hippo. And again, our theory, and I mean, it sounds about right, and Jamie's theory rather, was that with them eating fat, they would be able to absorb the nutrients and proteins that they need a lot better. So they do need fat in their diet, and I do think that eating other wildlife, something like a hippo that has got a large fat deposit in it, fat deposits should be beneficial for these lions. Oh, look at that, the female just grooming and cleaning the little cub. And in the past, a few viewers have asked me, do ticks sit on lions? And they do indeed, and one of the ways they get rid of them is by grooming and cleaning one another, just like this lioness is cleaning the cub. And look at that cub, it is loving it. Oh, it's really, really, really fantastic. All right, we're going to sit with the lions for a while, but Brent has got another bird he'd like to show you for Bird Day. So we're still sitting with the Pride, everyone. They haven't really moved. They've readjusted a little bit, and one or two of the cubs have tried to suckle and then moved off again and just changed their positions and laid down. Copy that, Steve. Oh, look at that. Wonderful. The female playing with that little cub. It's wonderful to see how playful they can be with one another. Occasionally, even when they get a bit older, you see lionesses every now and then walking around, and when they are walking and I think we might get lucky this afternoon. I think with it being cooler, they may get up and move around a lot sooner rather than later, I'm hoping. But when they do walk around at times, you even see these lionesses being very playful and chasing and jumping with basically on one another. It's wonderful to see the interaction. I've seen lions go and climb trees just to get a bit of a vantage point to maybe look around, and as I said, jump and chase one another. So they can be very playful. Look at that. That is very, very cute. That is so wonderful. I hope all of you back home are enjoying this as much as I am. Paws in the air. And there's a nice yawn from that female. Avukile, good afternoon to you. You're a new viewer. Wonderful to have you with us on Safari Live. You wanted to know how big this pride is. So Avukile, at the moment, this pride consists of 5 females and 6 cubs. So it's a really nice size pride. And hopefully these cubs are successful. And I'm hoping that the rest of these 6 cubs survive to adulthood. There were originally 8. Unfortunately, 2 of them have died. But that is survival of the fittest at times, and it is nature's way, which is not always easy to see, but it is a way of keeping a natural balance with these predators. And then Avukile, that male that you can see just off to the left, that male is part of a coalition of males, and there are 4 of them. They form part of the coalition called the Birmingham males, and those males patrol a huge territory within this area, and they don't belong to a specific pride. They'll move around between different prides. And this male is one of the fathers of those cubs. And I say one of because what happens is the females often mate with the males, all the males from a coalition, just to ensure the safety of the cubs when they are born. And these brothers, these males, stay together and they'll patrol the territory and keep out any threats, any other lions that might potentially try and take over their territory. And occasionally the males meet up with the pride, spend a day or 2 with them, and then move on again and cover their territory, mark their territory, make sure other lions don't come in. And the males may also meet up with one another. Occasionally you see 2, 3, or even 4 of them together. Oh, look at that lovely yawn. Now all this yawning and scratching and stretching is a good sign. If we're lucky, we might get some movement from these lions. Oh, having a good scratch. Oh. Or they just change position and lie down again. Alright, we're going to sit with these lions for a while, and while we sit here, Jamie's stretching her legs on the bushwalk. So they're starting to wake up a little bit more, Brent. More heads up, more cleaning and grooming. So all of this is good signs for us. Even the male is sitting with his head up now. And I say a good sign because it would just be wonderful to have them get up and move around a bit. Hopefully not further into the thicket, because then I don't think we'll be able to follow them. But we're not far from Buffelshoek Dam, so maybe they decide they'd like a drink of water and they head down there. That would make a wonderful, wonderful shot. So I'm hoping. That's my hope. I wouldn't say prediction, because I don't want to predict something like that, because if it doesn't happen, then you'll all be really upset with me. So I'm hoping that's what they do. Oh, watch a yawn. Good. Now, when they're yawning, they're doing that to try and fill their bodies with more oxygen. And it is a sign that they may be waking up, looking to move around a little bit. Occasionally, lions will yawn and stretch and then just get up and change their positions and lie somewhere else. Or they decide, okay, it's time to get up and start moving. So, who knows? Who knows? But we are going to be patient, and that's one of the things that I think is probably the most important while being in the bush and on safari is having patience, sitting and enjoying animals and viewing them, because things happen when you least expect it. If you just drive in and we call it just ticking off the animals. So if you just drive in, view them, tick them off that you've seen them and move on, you often miss the real behavior and interaction. So it's important to try and sit and be patient, and things will happen for you. That's how I feel. I feel very strongly about that. Sorry, I didn't hear the name properly, but I think it's Janice. You wanted to know if two male lions will... Tanis, I apologize. So Tanis, you wanted to know if two male lions would mate with a single lioness from the same pride. Yes, definitely. And what would happen is... the one male, and most likely the slightly more dominant one, he will get to mate first with the lioness. And I say the more dominant one, even within a coalition there is a hierarchy, one that would be more dominant than the others. He'd most likely get to mate first with the lioness, and once he's finished and moved on, the lioness may then mate with one of the other males. And again, the reason for that is possibly ensure that she does fall pregnant, and the other reason is that then she ensures the cub's safety, that all the males think those cubs belong to them, and they will then protect them. Excuse me a second. Stephen, affirmative, I'm still here. They just in the block directly west of Buffelshoek Dam. Best approach, you'll see the vehicle tracks just on the southwestern corner of the dam wall, and you can just use, might even get my visual from there. Copy that. So you're just getting some other guests in to see the lions, and that's a wonderful thing with us being on radio and other people who are out on safari here. They get to see these animals live and spend time with them. So it's nice that we help each other find the animals, and the people on safari do get to enjoy them. See a lot of grooming going on, a lot of cleaning, scratching. Glynis, that is a very keen ear you have. You could hear a woodpecker knocking while I was speaking. And I don't want to move anywhere, but let's head back to Jamie on the bushwalk and see what she's got. Have a look at this. These cubs have woken up and they're starting to move around. And this one's climbing the tree. Look at that. So anybody who says lions don't climb trees, you are mistaken. They do indeed. Not very well, though. But as you can see, but they do indeed climb trees. Not quite like a leopard, however. But they're very, very active. The females have just moved off, unfortunately. They've moved a little bit further in through the thicket, but these cubs are providing us with a lot of entertainment, and they all seem to be trying to climb this tree, possibly stretching and cleaning their claws a bit. Now, I know a lot of viewers have been concerned about the health condition of these cubs, and I was saying earlier that this is the first time in about 2 weeks, 3 weeks, that I've seen these cubs so playful and active again. And they've been chasing one another around for about 10 minutes now, jumping, pouncing. So they're looking very, very healthy. And those who were concerned about the white muscle disease that they had, it appears as if it's all good news for now. Again, I don't want to jinx anything or promise full recovery, but it does appear as if they're doing very, very well. All 6 cubs are here. And they are doing well. So that is very good news for us. And Heather, you want to know how long lion cubs stay with their mothers. So Heather, generally what happens with the female cubs, they will stay within the pride and just allow the pride to grow in size, and those young lionesses will then eventually help the pride hunt and hopefully create a very successful pride with more lions. The males, however, may get pushed out by the dominant males, or if they feel that there's competition or other new males coming in, those males would potentially leave the pride and move on, and that's usually at the age of about 3 or 4. If not a bit later, maybe 5. Generally speaking, young male lions will start coming into their own and trying to challenge for dominance and territory at the age of about 5 or 6. If there's a coalition or a group of them, then they may do that from that age and potentially chase out older lions and possibly try and set up a territory for themselves in another area and mate with females from a different pride. So it's again, there's no set rule on when young males will get pushed out or if young females get pushed out. I've seen situations where a pride of lions, a pride of lions was actually a very successful pride that had 4 females, and those 4 females gave birth to 8 cubs between the 4 of them. What had happened was there was an eldest lioness, and a new coalition of males came into the area. Four big dominant males came into the area, and they then attacked this pride, because those cubs did not belong to them, and they wanted to mate with those females. So the eldest lioness actually took 4 cubs, and it was only the 4 young females, and she took them and fled for safety and got out of the area. The 4 young males, however, were unfortunately killed by the dominant males. And that eldest lioness and those 4 young females, when they eventually grew up, they actually started a pride of their own. And that pride is known as the Mungen Pride now, which is situated, their territory is basically on Londolozi and Singita, so just south of where we are. And they are still around and doing very well. And they were originally part of the Salala Pride, which is also still in that area. So those of you who do follow the pride activity within the Sabi Sands and within the Kruger, you may have heard those names, or some of you may have even seen those prides, the Salala Pride and the Mungen Pride. And originally they all came from the Salala Pride, but those 4 young females split up and ran away with the eldest lioness, who is now dead. But those 4 females have done very well for themselves and had cubs and grown the size of that pride. So that was interesting to see, but that was because they were pushed out by males coming into the area and not necessarily pushed out by the pride. Seems as if they've started to settle down now. And Doodles, you say it's so nice to see the cubs running and playing like this. It really is wonderful. And that little one's got a stick it's chewing on. Just shows you how playful these cubs are. That little cub was not very happy, and you hear the sound that they make even at this young age, and you hear it when they're feeding too. They can make an incredible growl and noise for little cubs like this. They get very aggressive when they are feeding, and that happens throughout their lifetime. Even when they are older and they are hunting, where they're running, chasing the other ones. So, as I was saying, even when they're older and feeding on carcasses, there's still competition between them. Even if it's lionesses or the males, they do get very aggressive around the carcasses because it's survival of the fittest, and they fight for the best piece of meat and as much as they can possibly feed on. I'm not sure where the male has moved to. I think he's just on the other side of the termite mound. I can't see him anymore. The females did move off, or at least 2 or 3 of them I saw moved off. A little bit further west from here. However, is there some movement? I'm just trying to have a look. It is very thick through here. And I think I can hear a female contact calling, perhaps trying to call these cubs. Yeah, if we listen carefully, we may hear her contact calling. There's a female heading over in this direction now. I think we'll stick with the cubs for a bit and keep watching them and just wait for this female to meet up with them. Listen, watch, you see, they've all heard her. They give this very low contact call, just a oh, oh. There you can hear it. Oh, look at that. So she's just come back, it looks like, to fetch them and take them away. I don't think we're going to be able to follow them, everyone. You can see it's very thick there, but with almost like a grove of trees, I doubt we'll be able to get a vehicle through there. Even with, especially rather, with the roof on at the moment. But what a wonderful sighting. We will try to see where they go. Maybe they come out on one of the main roads. To see some of the cubs are still a little playful, and there's this little one trying to, it's just stretching against the tree again, off to the right, same tree where they're all stretched in. There we go. I'm just going to try to stay with them a little bit longer until we lose view of them completely. If they do hang around, that would be great, because this interaction is just really wonderful. You can hear that female calling constantly. The male has just got up to, just through to the right of the termite mound. He's moving away at the moment. Not sure if we'll be able to see him. There he goes. Just through there. Alright, I'm going to sit here for a few more minutes. Let's head back to the bushwalk, or Jamie on bushwalk, and she's going to be heading back to camp soon. So it looks like this female's come all the way back in there to fetch the cub. I'm not sure if she's going to get him to follow her. Oh, look at this interaction. This is very, very special, everyone. I'm so glad you're... Wow! Oh, isn't this fantastic? Sure. These little cubs look like a handful. Let's see now if the female manages to get them to follow her. Listen to the cubs calling. So lioness is moving off now. Let's see if the cubs do follow her. I'm sure they will. But they're being very, very disobedient. Oh. Now, for those of you who are watching who are rugby fans, it looks like these lions can teach the rugby players one or two things about tackling. Because they've been running and jumping and tackling one another very, very well. Hopefully our national team learns a thing or two. And Graham, you wanted to know how muscular their tails are, and they are very muscular. Most of their tail is muscle. Very, very thick and powerful. A very sturdy tail. So most of it is muscle, Graham. Yeah. These two little cubs just don't seem interested in leaving the termite mound. They are very happy, and the mother is calling and calling, but no success in getting them to follow her. Watch, this little one is being stalked by its sibling. Have a look at this. There's a little francolin that just flew off, and the little cub's trying to chase the francolin. But the francolin knows that it's too quick and can easily get away from... Wow. Sorry, it's a bit tricky to view everything that's going on at the moment, but these cubs are all jumping around and pouncing on each other at different times. Okay, there it looks like the cubs have realized that the female was being serious by getting them to move off, and off they go. Look at that. what an incredible sighting. That was very, very special. It was just great. And off they go. I can just see them disappearing in through that thicket now. Yeah. So it looks like we're possibly going to lose them now moving through this dense bush. We really aren't going to be able to follow them. But it was fantastic to be able to spend time with them, and our patience definitely paid off. I think sitting here for a while, knowing it's a bit cooler, knowing that we're possibly going to get some movement and interaction from them, definitely paid off. And we got that incredible sighting. They didn't go and drink like I was hoping they would, but still to get the cubs playing and running and pouncing on one another and even tackling the female at the end there, that was really, really great. We're going to see if we can move out of here and just see where these lions do go. Let's head back to Brent and get an update. Hang on, I just want to see everyone. I think maybe I've come around towards a road and a clearing. I'm hoping that these lions head out in this direction. Maybe we get to see them again. Hang on. Just going to go forward a little bit further. I think I saw the male through the thicket, and I'm sure these other lions. Here we go, straight ahead. Found them. Fantastic. I thought they're going to head in this direction, come out into the open, and here comes the whole pride. You're going to see them shortly. Oh, there we go. Oh, 2 females, the rest seem to be following. Oh, isn't that great? There we go. Now at least we get to see them. Oh, what bird was that? Shucks. So busy watching the lions, forgetting about our birding. I'm sorry, I do apologize. It actually looked like a martial eagle, but a very brief view of it. I'm not sure. Here comes another lioness and some cubs. They're going to be coming into the frame shortly. Oh, look at these 2 lionesses fight or playing. Oh, fantastic. And we just spoke about this. Remember I said you do still get lionesses in cool weather when they wake up and they get a bit active, and they are very playful at times. And it's great to see the adults behaving this way. I can't tell you how happy I am to see these lions behaving like this. They seem happy, and they just they look rejuvenated. I think that's the best word to describe it. They really do. Almost like a new energy. And the cubs and everyone's joining in. Watch. Oh, yes, look at that. Oh, this is wonderful. Wonderful. Isn't that great? We're going to try to stick with them though and see where they go and where they move. They're really, really fantastic. I'm so happy. You can hear the little cubs are vocalizing again a little bit, soft little calls. What I'm going to try to do is catch up with those females quickly, just because there's so much interaction between them. They're very, very playful. Oh no, there's... So, Sheehan, you want to know how a lion or leopard mother get their cubs, or tell their cubs to stay in an area if they are moving off to go and hunt. So I think with the lions, it's usually a oh, oh, oh. I'm just joking. It's funny. They do communicate. they do communicate with them, and they will give different calls, and it's instinct. I think the cubs just know when the lionesses are serious to go off and hunt. They know to stay in an area, and the lionesses will call once or twice and move off, and then the cubs know they need to stay there for safety, and they wait there until the lionesses come back to call them. Same thing with leopards. A leopard, and I've seen many times leopards will take their cubs into an area, a thicker area, and they will contact call once or twice, leave them there and move off and go and hunt. So it is instinct, it is a bit of communication from the adults to the cubs, but it's instinct for them to just stay in that area and stay there because they know that is where they're going to be safe. Oh, listen to that sound. Trying to suckle from that mother, from that female. Now, I did get a glimpse of the male earlier, but he was lying further back. It's almost like he thought, well, maybe he's not going to follow the pride unless they hunt something fairly soon. He may join up with them a little bit later, probably follow them. This is great. Cheetah and Connie, you want to know, how does the pride decide to move? Those lionesses unfortunately just chased each other off, but through some thick trees. It's difficult to view them through here. I'm going to try and move and catch up to those lionesses because they seem to be very active. But getting back to the question now, it's very difficult. I think it's very difficult to tell exactly why they decide to move. Perhaps they've just decided that they've rested enough and that they are now ready to move on, continue. It's cool enough that the temperature isn't too hot for them to move around, and one or two lionesses could decide. There's not necessarily one lioness that decides every time. Sorry, I'm just trying to get out of here quickly. As I say, it's very difficult to say if there's an exact moment in time. I don't think so. I think it's just a case of when they all decide it's time to get up and move, or one decides to get up and move, probably stimulates the others or gets the others interested in moving, and then they head off. There we go. One female with two cubs. The other cubs are coming and heading towards her. Cat from Tampa, you want to know, are these lions anywhere near the dead hippo? No, Cat, they're not. They're very far away from that area, actually. So I don't think they're going to find the carcass unless they they move around quite a lot tonight, then there might be a possibility. This is really, really amazing. Get a bit of light on there. How's that? A bit better. Walking over that lioness. Oh, this is really, really amazing. And isn't that great? Wonderful. Our patience paid off. Remember I said so. I've got a feeling they're going to move around and do something for us, and we could not have asked for better interaction than this, to see how playful lions can be. And it appears I think I can just see the male coming through. There's another lioness coming through there, but the male is following. He's behind some trees now. We can't see him. Alright, I think where did that male go now? There he comes. Let's just have a look at the male following through. There he comes. He's got a little bit of a limp. Now, that I don't think it's necessarily a bad injury or anything. Sometimes these males, they get a bit older and they move around. They do occasionally hurt their paws. Perhaps if they are hunting, and also they get really stiff when they end up sleeping and resting for most of the day. It takes a while for them to loosen up and warm up, and that could possibly be what's happening with this male. I don't think it's anything serious. I've seen male lions get up and limp for a while many times before. I don't think it's a serious injury, so no need to worry, everyone. And there he goes, All right. That's fantastic. Wonderful. I'm going to see where these lions go now. We are very close to our northern boundary, the Buffelshoek cut line. So let me just see where they do go, but I think they are going to be crossing soon. Let's head to Brent for an update, and I'll